Hi, my name's John, and I'm one of the web guys. I'd like to tell you about our amazing product that I'm certain you'll love. There are lots of companies out there who offer website and business tools, from the very cheap do-it-yourself to the very expensive bespoke products. What we offer at the Web Guys is a unique package that we're sure will cater to all your business's needs. We'll deliver a world-class website that's created specifically for you and your business, and with everything you need to manage it. It's so simple. All you have to do is choose a look and we'll do everything else. We'll design, build, set up and customize your website for you. You'll get that agency quality product from £29.99 a month and with no upfront fees to pay. To take advantage of our fantastic product, go to www.thewebguys.co.uk and simply click the Sign Up Now button and follow the instructions, which will only take a few minutes of your valuable time. Once you're done, you'll get all this plus lots more, and from only £29.99 per month. So, what are you waiting for?
Good morning, everyone. Can you believe it? Once again, it's Wednesday morning. It's 10 o'clock. It's time for our conversation with. And today, I've got the pleasure of being joined by Howard Vale. And good morning, Howard. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Now, you do a whole plethora of different things. So please tell everyone who you are and what you're doing.
Morning, Brian. Yeah, thank you for having me on. My name is Howard Vale. My business is called Whirly Gigs Create, and as Brian says, I do a plethora of things. I'm just trying to decide what we're going to be talking about. In the main, I do called Couch Interviews Live, and because I'm an accredited LinkedIn and Amazon live streamer, and that enables me to interview people across social media networks, and I help create an emotional connection between themselves and their client. In a nutshell.
Nice.
So it's a business style interview show.
Yeah, fantastic. Everyone who hasn't seen it before, please make sure you do go and follow Howard on LinkedIn and social media to have a look at that. But you do, there's a few things we're going to talk about today, and one of the projects that you're working on is your memory box. So let's start with that. Let's have a look, because it's a really wonderful thing. It's not as known as it ought to be, so that's where I like to start. So tell us all about this memory box. What is it? What does it do? What's the purpose of it?
Yeah, it's probably best to tell it from my own story, because all memories are fleeting, and you hear family stories from members of the family, and unfortunately, people pass away, and so do the stories. So just very briefly, Brian, when my mum was ill about 10 years ago, when she was in hospital, you have a conversation, and she decided to talk about her family and a little bit about my dad. So I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I took out my mobile phone, and when she was talking, I recorded everything, sort of just to preserve memories. To cut a long story short, well, it's not funny. My mother died. No, the funny part, the funny part was, or why it's important to preserve memories. She passed away. My father died a year later, and for some reason, my mobile phone broke. So all those memories were disappeared. So all we get now is from other members of the family, like little snippets, but they're like second or third hand. There's nothing like hearing the story from the person who was alive at that time. Because it could even involve his historical things. So I thought, so that prompted the idea of trying to preserve memories. I mean, there are various ways of doing it, either doing an audio recording or a book of memories. And I thought, what about preserving it on video, where you have the person themselves being interviewed and just talking about their home life, their parents, their first job, their first love, the first split up, marriages, any historical events that happened during their lifetime, but preserving it on video. And it's just a really good way of you know, it's not going to be done because, you know, they're going to leave us tomorrow. It's just you know, it's just there.
Yeah.
To open up and hear from that. Yeah, that's my point I'm trying to make. It's all very well reading about stories or other people telling about stories, but it's hearing them telling their story, and I came up with the idea of the memory box, because I thought, should I just do a video and then sort of email it to them? You know, I thought, no, there's no sense of occasion. So I came up. Can I go show you it?
Yeah.
With quite simply what is called the memory box.
Yeah.
This is it.
Hey,
So,
it does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? I think what you're describing there is actually very poignant, and it actually reminds me of something that I've perhaps forgotten, but I remember it must be perhaps 10, 15 years ago when my great-grandmother was still alive. My mom, she likes writing and stuff. She told me that she spent some times with our great-grandmother. She was in her late 80s, and because if you look at that time frame when my great-grandmother was born to when she died, the innovations that the world saw was actually absolutely huge. So my mother sat down with her and she got her to tell her sort of life stories, and she wrote it down with the intention of writing a book about it. And so she was telling her from when she was a child that they had to walk half a day just to see a car. And then by the end of her life, you know, we've gone to the moon and flying around the world quite easily and all that kind of stuff. But what I remember mainly about what my mother was telling me about that experience was the quality time they actually had together at that late stage of our great-grandma's life, and shared those memories together. If she could have had those memories today on a video, I think that would have been extraordinarily powerful.
yeah, it really is, because I did one recently which I need to edit, and obviously I can't mention the person's name, but it was obviously about this person's life story, but it's about growing up in the 60s, you know, the clubs I went to, and when I say trouble, what teenagers used to get up to. So it's just an insight of what it was like in the 60s in London, which is fascinating. Yeah, it's just, and then I just think it's a good family gift as well, because you know, you can buy one or more boxes, and you've always got that person there telling the story, because it's always a sort of argument in families when they say, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was Uncle so and so. No, it wasn't. So you got the video there, so you can fast forward it. So I'll show you how it presents in the box.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So here's the box called the memory box. So you open it up, and it says up here, remember when, and then the video starts. Oh, this is a sample video. Let me just do another one. So imagine this is your grandmother. So this is a sample video.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Let me just stop that. And in here, and in oh, that's it. Sorry. And in here, you can put memorabilia that they may well be, you know, talking about as well. So it's just like a memory box, but with a built-in video.
How much video can you actually put on there?
Good question, Brian. It depends on the gigabyte memory. It depends on the memory on the in the chip. So I think it's 1 gigabyte of video, so you can get quite a lot. So because you can put more than just the one video on there. So you've got the main one, and if you've got other things you can do yourself, because you can upload it with the USB from your computer. So a few hours worth video. And
upgrade the memory inside of it, or is it a fixed memory? Can you upgrade the memory inside of it?
No, it isn't. It's just a fix in 1 gigabyte memory. If you look it up, you can get several hours of it. Yeah. But I don't think it's made to have hours and hours of videos. It's for a specific thing. And of course, you have your own personal choice to add on memories too, if you want to. If you do your own videos of stuff. But in essence, it's that person's story.
So how does it work? So they buy the memory box from you. So first question is, how much does it cost? Because a lot of people there would probably technically struggle to edit videos and all that kind of stuff. So do you do that for them, or how does that work?
Yeah, how it works. I'm just calling up my website. What it is, there is a whole. I should have called this up before I started, didn't I? There is a whole process of right. There is a process, Brian. I don't just show up at somebody's home to to do the recording.
Of course not.
So we're very briefly. What it is, I do some research on that person's life, historically speaking, not personal. So to see if there's any events that happened during their lifetime. I may speak to a member of the family just to get some insights into it. And then I have a pre-chat with them about it. And then I have some pre-prepared questions that I ask them. They don't necessarily, well, they've got some idea, but basically it starts off pretty light, where were you born, how old you were, when's your birthday, and it sort of goes deeper and deeper and deeper, sort of asking questions to really get memories. Like, can you imagine speaking to a grandmother, an elderly person, they're in their 80s, saying, tell me about your grandparents. So it's really going back. So we have an interview for up to about a couple of hours, and then I edit it down and make it nice with music. Regarding the cost of it, because of what's been happening for the past year, with let's not mention it, shall we? So what I'm doing special prices. So I've got 3 packages. So there's the actual memory box experience, where I actually come and visit you up to 2 hours. I do all the editing, and then I upload the edited video onto the box, and you get the actual memory box itself. So that's $9.99. And then there's the DIY package, where if you want to, you can video interview the person yourself. To be honest, I'm not sure whether that's the right way of doing it, because with me, I'm devoting my time with them. But if you want to, but having said that, I'll give you a guide on how to use them, because most people use mobile phones. So I give a guide how to use the mobile phones, and I give you 5 questions to kickstart the whole thing. So I do give you like a guidance on how to do it, and then so you send me in that video. I do the same editing process again, with some background music, and then you get the box, and then which is only $4.99. So that's a do it yourself. But I should add a caveat on this: the quality of the video and sound is the quality of the video and sound.
Yeah.
So long as they are aware of that, or they can have the virtual package, which is the same as a memory box package, except it's done over Zoom. So it's exactly the same process. I get to know them first, to research, speak to the family, and then we do the actual interview over Zoom or other video conferencing. It isn't quite the same quality as face to face, but again, it's more people doing face to face and Zoom calls anyway. So it's just to give people a choice for budget and everything else, and that's only $5.99. But it includes a box, the editing as well, which takes a bit of time. So I try and give choices for most people, really.
I think the Zoom idea is a great idea, because obviously geographically there's only so far that you can travel to. So the fact that you've opened it up and doing it over Zoom, I think that sounds like an absolutely fantastic idea. I must admit, I think, because that will then appeal to people from north of the country all the way down to the south coast of the country.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Obviously, they need to have a good, decent internet connection and good sound, but that could be sorted out anyway.
Yeah. No, I think that sounds absolutely wonderful. I think it's an absolute wonderful idea. So for everyone who watches this either now or later on, because this will stay on our Facebook and our YouTube channels, please connect with Howard. Go and have a look at the memory box. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a wonderful idea, Howard. I really commend you for coming up with it, because
thank you.
because what you describe, you ask your grandparents about their grandparents. Where can you ever find that kind of stuff? Well, you can't, can you? It's no. So I think that's wonderful. So that's cool. So that's the memory box. Tell me more about this other thing that you're doing with Amazon Live, because I've heard you talk about it when we've been attending certain networking stuff. So tell me more details. What's that about? Because I know I certainly haven't. I assume everyone buys a lot of stuff off Amazon all the time. So how does that work?
Yeah, Amazon Live. No one's ever heard of it because it's actually so new. Even some of the Americans haven't heard of it. It's been going unofficially since November 19, when they get certain people to try it out. What it is, and I hate this expression, I'm part of the Amazon influencer program. I hate that word. I feel uncomfortable just talking about it. So
you're gonna put yourself out there.
Yeah. So you have to apply to Amazon to be accepted. And what that enables me to do is to stream live, like you're streaming live into YouTube and Facebook, to stream live into Amazon, Amazon.com, where you can talk about anything. So I have a couple of shows. One where I talk about stuff I like, which is technology. So I talk about stuff I've got, and I also, this is where the influencer thing comes in. So then I recommend products on Amazon and talk about it. Wow. And at the bottom there's the Amazon carousel with each product I'm talking about. And the idea is for people to buy stuff. It's as simple as that. It's the world's biggest shopping mall, isn't it, Amazon? And the idea is to influence, like it's like when you talk to people about going to your restaurant, seeing a good film. Once they know and like you, saying, "Oh, I trust you." So it's to buy stuff on Amazon Live, and it's going to be massive. It's a bit like YouTube versus QVC. It is a shopping channel, and I do another one where I sort of take couch interviews over, and it's called Meet the Author, where I interview the authors if they've got a book on Amazon or books, and we have a chat a bit like this, about their books, and then hopefully people will connect with them and buy their books on Amazon. It's a mad world going live on Amazon. So it's a mad world, but anybody can apply.
It sounds really interesting because I'll admit I buy frequently stuff on Amazon. I haven't seen a video on Amazon yet, but if I go and buy, I'm a bit like you. I'm a geeky guy. I like my tech stuff. So if I go and buy a piece of tech on Amazon, if there was a video underneath talking about this piece of tech, I would watch it, no doubt.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's not available in the UK. That's why you haven't seen it. It's only only sort of trialing it, not trialing it out, starting in America as you would. You got access to the lives going Amazon.com/live or my own live channel,
right?
Which is howardval.live. But what's really good about it, when I feature a product, like I talk about this snowball ice, and then if someone's searching on it, my video would appear on that product page, which is really it's totally amazing. And there's a chance that this video talking about the iceberg, the snowball ice, may appear on a related product as well.
Right.
So it can appear on a microphone for sure, or a different product altogether. So it's going to be huge, and it's going to be amazing. It's great for Amazon sellers.
Yeah, it sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, and you get followers as well, so you get people to follow you.
Right.
So
on
Amazon.
Okay.
On Amazon, yeah. So they get notification every time I go live. They get notification. So I have a few regulars. Always get interaction. And what's so fantastic about it, unlike social media, is that people who are viewing my lives are shopping on Amazon, so they're already in shopping mode.
Yes,
it's awesome. So and it's just brilliant. And I met so many different people, other live streamers. I hate the word influencers, and it's just great. It's just fun. All the rules of going live go out the window when you're on Amazon Live. It's just mad. It's brilliant, but it's really good. But anybody can apply.
Yeah,
you can apply if you want to, or you should. Well, you want me to take the process of applying?
Yes, please do.
Sure.
Please do.
You have to be an Amazon associate. Their affiliate scheme, which I've been for years. It hasn't worked for me. It hasn't worked for me at all. I used to put the old link on my website. It's just, I get kicked out. I go back in again. So you've got to be that, and then once you're on that, then you can apply to become an Amazon influencer. So there is an application process, but what they look at your social media presence.
Right.
So they look at YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Right.
Not LinkedIn, funny enough. So
Okay.
they look at your following and your presence on social media. So you don't apply with 4 of those. You choose one particular one that you think will get you through. So I use my Whirly Geese Create Facebook page to get to, and then I thought this is beyond me. This is a different level because but they accepted me.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you've obviously been doing this live for a while, and you're very good at doing them. So I'm sure they've had a look at that as well. So it's definitely something I'm going to have a look at. It sounds pretty special. Amazon is undeniable. It's a huge thing. So it would be remiss for any sort of business owner not to pay attention to it. It's a little bit like YouTube, isn't it? It's in this day and age, it's a must, really. If you're not using it, everyone has to, because what's bigger than Google? Well, nothing is bigger than Google, is it, when it comes to the internet? So
No.
So okay, well that sounds really cool. So yeah, please do send me that so I can take a look at that as well. So that brings us very nicely into the couch interview thing. So tell us more about your couch interviews, because obviously you've been doing them for a while, and I know you've had a lot of different people on there.
Yeah, well, I'm on episode 63. So I've done 63 of these. Wow. So I used to do part of my video business. I used to do couch interviews, the cool couch interviews, where I would go on site and interview business owners, leaders about their business. It was a package. It was a series of 4 interviews. The content was down to you. The first one was more like an introduction, and the others were going to be a bit like industry news or updates or whatever you think your clients or customers would be of interest. And the brilliant thing about video, any video, not just mine, even if they repeated the same message in all 4 videos, it doesn't matter, because it's said in a different way, and you're going to get a different audience. So then COVID struck, so everything went down, and I had access to LinkedIn last year, November 19. So no, August 19. Sorry. Anyway, to cut long story short, to keep myself occupied back in March 2020, I thought I've got this asset of going live on LinkedIn. I give something back. So it's partly to keep myself busy, and partly, which I think is so important even now, was for businesses to tell people that they are still visible and they're still in business.
Yeah.
Even though things aren't. They need to show their face and to show people, because when things go wrong, first thing people stop doing is marketing, which I understand when budgets are tight, but that is the time to make yourself visible. Is to do marketing.
Yes.
And many businesses are just waiting things out, like now, sort of thing, and then starting to crank out their business again. Well, I think it's too late. All these people have been on this last year. I've got an advantage because I've got an asset which is on LinkedIn all the time and Facebook, where they can reshare it. Because what I try and make the interviews what they call evergreen. So because it's pointless talking about Christmas, and they repost it in August. So they can post it any time or get a new one any time of the year. So I started doing it. I went 3 weeks, 5 days a week. It was tiring. And then, and then it got settled down. I thought, oh, this could be good, because no one else is doing it in the UK. Well, it's only on in the UK. So I now go live twice a week. But so that was free during the first few months of the pandemic. But having said that, I now offer value with it as well. So there are a couple of packages, because it's not just going live. Just going live and that's it. It's a waste of time, Brian, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's great coming on live, but you need to promote it beforehand, and then you need to promote it afterwards, and also repurposing the video as well. So, which is the extra value I offer in a couple of packages.
Right.
On couch interviews. But basically, it's business owners like you coming along. There's a lot of aspects, but it's for you to sort of to talk about how you put out the business, how it became a success, which I know is what is success, the business lessons you learned, and then we talk about your story before the business. And the idea behind it is that you're positioning yourself as an expert first and foremost, and then hopefully your story will inspire other people, and hopefully that and then it's to attract people to you. So Brian knows what he's talking about. So because he's built up, the web guys from scratch, and I know your story. It's a very good business model that you got. So although you haven't spoken about web guys and how wonderful you are, all the how much you charge a month, they might think, oh, I'm gonna give Brian a ring because he knows what he's talking about. Of course, you talk about web guys and your story, obviously. So that's the idea, is to inspire people and to attract people, hopefully to make contact with you.
Yeah. It's great stuff, and your videos are fantastic. Really, really good. I would encourage anyone who's watching this to go and have a look at, and not just what you're doing going forward, but look at all your old videos as well. I think what I'm finding, because obviously we do this every Wednesday morning now, and has been doing it for a couple of months, so it's a fairly new thing for us. And I think for many business owner, it's about having the courage to actually come and do the first one, to put yourself out there and say, I'm happy to go on a live broadcast, and that does take a little bit of courage the first time you do it.
You're right. I think some people are hesitant about it, but I just say to them, well, first of all, you've got to keep looking in the camera. Just pretend you're just talking to me. Like this could be a Zoom call. You may having a chat, and then that's what I do. So I get them on a few minutes early just to sort of wind down and relax. This is my third time being interviewed, so it's interesting being on the other side of it. I'm not in control, Brian. I'm not in control.
Well, that's the point of how I like to do it. There's no script. It's just conversation.
No, there's no script. Well, with me, there is no script. But having said that, because I know what's going on, people don't. Because I interview people, I wasn't particularly concerned with saying we go live a few minutes before. Some people do need to not handhold, but just to be guided. So I don't pre-prepare questions. I send out an email saying what we want to get from it, like why you do it, how you change people's lives, and that sort of stuff. So they've got some idea of the topics, but no, I don't pre-prepare questions because it makes it stilted. Then I'll be up all night giving you the a well-prepared answer instead of mumbling and stumbling on it. But what you're doing is right, because you've got to be consistent. Turn up every week at the same time. And then what you should do, you need to publicize it afterwards as well. Here's a tip which I have done. What you do, just take 30 seconds of it, something which is really, really you think is valuable. Repost that, sort of doing a T, saying this interview I had with, well, not necessarily me, with so and so, some really good stuff here about X, for the full, and then put a link into the full interview in the comments, not in the body, because Facebook don't like that. So you do a bit of a teaser, and then you put the link down below to watch the full interview. So you can do that.
Great stuff. Howard, thank you very much for joining me today.
Pleasure.
Everyone out there, if you're seeing it now or later on in time, go and have a look at all the wonderful things that Howard does. From his memory box. Please go and have a good look at that, because that's a wonderful one.
That's really good. Yeah.
If you are business owners and you would like to come on Howard's show, please get in contact with Howard. I'm sure you can find him on Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the main social media channels. Howard's got a website as well. It's Wordy Gigs as well, and Howard Way Live as well. So please go and find him there and get in touch. And I'm sure Howard will be happy to get you get you in the uncomfortable chair and get you in front of the world. So
It's comfy. It's comfy.
yeah, Howard, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Brian. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Pleasure having you on. And that's it for today. Please join me again next Wednesday. I am being joined by Heidi Setzfield, who is a virtual assistant. So if you don't know what that is, or if you're interested in knowing more about what she can do, those type of people can do for you to help you out in your business, please join us, because again, we will just have an open and frank conversation about what it actually is that we need help doing in our day-to-day running of our businesses. So thank you all for watching today. Please like and share and subscribe, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, and we shall see you again next weekend. Take care, everyone.